All right, these are the tools that you're gonna need. So we have a couple sharpening stones. You don't absolutely need these, but they do help. You're gonna absolutely need a file. You're gonna need a burnisher, or this is just an awl. That's a hardened piece of steel. That's what we're gonna use rather than the burnisher, so I can show you how easy it is. So the first thing you wanna do is you wanna file this edge to remove the fatigued and work hardened material off of your scraper. I have it secured in the vise. Now, they sell a lot of gizmos for this to make sure that you keep the file 90 degrees to the scraper. You really don't need any of those. Trust yourself. So obviously this is 90 degrees, this is not, this is not. If for some reason I'm off a degree or two either way, it's gonna be perfectly fine. So I'm just gonna clean this edge up. I'm using the whole file, and I'm doing my best to keep it at 90 degrees. I'm sharpening the curved scraper because it's a little bit harder, and I just want to show how simple it is. So I made a little mistake right there, but I'm just going to go ahead and file that right out. Okay, now we have a nice edge. And what's happened now is that it's created two burrs on the side, but those burrs are really rough, and that's not what I want to use to scrape the wood. I want to remove those burrs and create the burrs by drawing the metal out. I'm going to remove the burrs on these sharpening stones. So now I'm just going to get it on there and give it a quick shake. I'm going to flip it, give it another quick shake, and I'm going to check that the burrs are removed. Feels pretty good. I got a little bit over here in this corner. Put a little extra pressure right there, and that's good to go. Now I want to clean this edge and make it a little bit finer. So I'm just going to run it on this coarse India stone. This is about 600 grit. And again, all I'm going to do is make sure it's at 90 degrees. I'm going to eyeball it. People know what 90 degrees is. You've been looking at 90 degrees your whole life. Houses are typically 90 degrees. Just trust yourself. Okay, now what's happened is it's again created burrs on the sides. That's exactly what I wanted. That's how I know I'm making progress here. Now I want to remove those burrs, and I'm going to do it on this finer stone. Flip this over. I'm just rocking this thing back and forth. Remove it on the side again. And now I'm ready to use the burnisher on it. This is a typical burnisher that you would buy at any woodworking supply store, and then this is just an old awl that has a good hard steel on that. I'm actually going to sharpen the scraper with this awl just to show you that it's really simple and that it's unnecessary to spend a lot of money to sharpen tools like this. So the first thing I want to do is I want to draw the steel out this way. So this is the edge that I'm sharpening, and I want to draw the steel out. How I'm going to do that is first by placing the burnisher on the steel flat, and I'm going to slide it towards me like this while pulling out this way. Okay, so it's a compound movement here. And then after a few strokes, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start tilting this burnisher to about, I don't know, 3 degrees or so. Not much. You really don't have to think about the degrees and all that stuff. You just go for it, and it usually turns out fine. So I'm going to put this flat. Sorry if my hands are in the way, but I do have to put quite a bit of pressure on this, so you can see that my thumb's turning white, and that'll show you how much pressure I'm actually putting on it. So you notice that I'm sliding it out and I'm sliding it towards me. The table is backing it up, so it's not just flexing the scraper. Okay, so now I'm tilting it. There's still a little oil on the scraper from the sharpening stone, and that's a good thing. That'll actually help this process. Okay, so now I have it in the vise. This is the edge that I'm sharpening, and it's the same process. So this is going to turn our final burr. And what I want to do is I want to not only slide the burnisher this direction, I also want to draw the metal out. So I'm going to move it like this, okay? And I'll start again at 90 degrees, and I'm slowly going to tilt it to about 3 degrees. All All right, that's all there is to it. There's a nice sharp burr on there now. It's good and consistent, and I'll show you just what this can do. So now I want to show you just how sharp this is. This is a rough piece of board right here, and you'll notice that it can really go from a rough piece of wood to a decent looking piece of wood just that quick. And that took me very little time to sharpen that scraper. There's the shavings from it right